Hey guys, it's me, Holly Madison. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm continuing my reaction series to Girls Next Door. We are on season 4, episode 1. I can't believe we're on season 4 already. And this one is called Patriot Dames. It's all about 4th of July and Bridget's brother, who was in the service at the time. And 4th of July was by far my favorite party at the mansion. It was the only one where I was kind of allowed to get up and socialize. Plus it was like a smaller guest list, so it wasn't as claustrophobic. It was outside during the day. There was a slip and slide, which I loved. So it was super fun, and I think this is the first time we've documented 4th of July on the show. We were filming season 4, the last half of 2007, and we are opening this episode with like a shot that they've already used a million times, where you go in the door and you go up the stairs of the mansion into Hef's room. But it's an old shot because you can still see the old nasty yellow from the 70s carpet, which has been changed since then. And I'm really surprised that the producer didn't ask for a new shot, because usually he's really observant about those type of things, but the continuity in the show was a mess. And they're panning all through Hef's room just to show like how crowded it is, because the scene is going to get to a point where I ask Hef if I can use this extra desk that's in his room, because when he had that room built out, he bought the house in 71, but I feel like he was still working on the master bedroom up until like 1980, I think. And he added another desk in there, and the desk was supposed to be for a woman to use, at least according to Mary. That was the plan. So I kind of hinted around for that other desk so I could bring my work from the studio home and do it there. And it would be extra convenient because then he could see all the proofs and the photos too. And they're also showing my corner of the room, which is called the vanity. And I'm saying Bridget and Kendra have these giant rooms, and I have like this corner where I have to like cram all my stuff in. And the low-rise jeans are real. Like my booty is out. Like the jeans are only like 3/4 of the way up to the top of my butt. So then I show him some proofs and I'm laughing about it. And I'm like, these are my favorite pictures. I wonder what they were. But he offers me that desk that I've been hinting around for. Probably because I hinted around through Mary. So she probably told him. So I was very excited to get that desk. It's kind of crazy though, because at the time this was filmed, I would only be at the mansion for like another year. I'm looking up at this and there's like this stereo equipment on the side of the bed, and it looks like there's a rotary phone dial on one of them. It's weird. Just FYI, don't mind my allergy eyes. Just FYI, I know some of you are interested in like what scenes were real and which ones weren't. And anytime you see a scene with Hef in it that's not an event, like a party or a buffet dinner or something like that, those are pretty much scripted, because he never really let the cameras just follow him around doing nothing. So if Hef was in a scene like this scene where he's telling me about the desk, we already knew exactly what that scene was and exactly what he was going to say, because he just would never have let the cameras like follow him around or just be in his room for no reason. So if you see a scene with Hef in it and it's not like a big party or something like that, then it's like not a real scene. You know what I mean? Ew, there's one interview of me I hate. I just look like my hair's not done, look like a drowned rat, low energy. Can we talk about pool toys and how back in the day, they did not make cute pool toys? Like, I would have killed for a blow-up swan back in the day. Like, I feel like pool toys, when did they start getting cute? Was it like 2016? Like Instagram aesthetic pool toys started coming out with like the giant swan and the giant flamingo and all those things. But back in 2007, that did not exist. Like, you could not find cute pool toys to save your life. Oh no, never mind. We did show 4th of July in season 1. I forgot, Operation Playmate. It just seems like such a long difference in between then and now, because we're showing how the slip and slides used to be kind of like Jimmy rigged. They're flashing back to that. But even before that, we showed the slip and slides in the pilot that we filmed in 2004. I heard that whoever has the mansion now got the slip and slides with the house. I mean, it makes sense. Where else are you going to use those slip and slides? But so we're testing out the slip and slide, and Bridget and I go down it, and Kendra doesn't, because clearly she doesn't want to. But I think good for her, because I feel like the way the producers like to categorize us, I feel like they would have really been pushing for Kendra to go down the slip and slide, because she's like the active one. So good for her. My mascara is like all under my eyes in this scene. Oh my God, they have footage of Bridget's brother in Iraq, and it's just so crazy to see like It's just crazy to see anything about like the real world at the time in this show, because the show was such a bubble. This is like really emotional, this whole part where Bridget like watches her brother and he's showing off his guns and like the grenade and stuff. It's crazy. So there's a whole scene where Bridget and Kendra and some of the playmates go to say goodbye to some of the Marines. I don't know why I didn't go. I assume I was probably working. But I always liked watching these scenes. Like back when we used to screen this show at the mansion, I used to really enjoy watching the scenes that I wasn't in the most, because you always got to see like what people were doing and, you know, the things you weren't there for. So those were always like my favorite things to watch. And it's so crazy how like I watch this show back with like a critical eye now, but back when I watched it back then, my view was just so different because I was just so worried about like not being really embarrassed. So as long as stuff wasn't super embarrassing, I was like okay with it and not really being very critical. But now that's not the case. I feel like if I would have gone to this thing, I would have been nervous because there's this packed like dining hall and all the girls are walking out like in a line in bunny costume. And I'm getting nervous just watching it. I don't know why. It's so crazy to see everybody in the audience. They have like little camcorders they're holding up to like record what's going on stage. Because this was like before smartphones really. And it's just crazy how long ago this was. Wait. I don't know why this seems so funny, but I think Kendra's wearing a shirt that says Kendra. Okay, so it's showing everybody walking in for the 4th of July party, and Allison Waite walks up and she goes to the camera, "Yay, it's just me." It's just so funny. I'm wearing the strangest shirt in one of the interviews. It's like a Playboy branded thing, but it has a scarf and it's a sweater, but it is cut so low. It's like, what is the point of wearing a sweater or a scarf at that point? Bridget's outfit for the 4th of July party is very cute. It's like a one-piece retro sailor style blue bathing suit with a little hat. And I'm putting no effort into my look for the 4th of July party. Usually I would wear like this 4th of July printed bikini with like bunny ears and a tail and like the cuffs and collars. But I don't know, this year I just decided to be comfortable and do it different. And I have like a red and blue bikini, but it was really boring. Oh, I say on here that I don't care about looking cute. I just want to be aerodynamic because I'm so excited about the slip and slides. They're showing like who's all at this party, and one of them is David Hasselhoff. And I thought it was interesting because like I was watching some documentary a long time ago. I forget what it was, but it was like it was about Baywatch, and David Hasselhoff was talking about how Pamela Anderson left the show, and he said, you know, I was relieved. He said, I'm paraphrasing here because I watched this a long time ago, but he said something about like how he was relieved that Pamela left because she brought this tacky Playboy tabloid element to the show. And he's like, you know, my kids watch this show. I don't want that on this show. But it's like, why are you at all the Playboy parties then? I think he was mad because Pam was the main character. Oh my God, they had the best food at the 4th of July party. Just anything you'd want to eat on the 4th of July. So I won every race in slip and slide world. You guys, sorry if this one isn't very long. It's just a big chunk of it I wasn't in, so I don't have that much to comment on. But also like nothing really like controversial happens. It's just kind of like a happy episode. So there was a whole scene where we were watching fireworks, and it was touching because of like Bridget was talking about her brother, and that was emotional. But other than that, the scene was kind of boring just because we've seen a fireworks scene in this series before, like when we did the Operation Playmate episode. Oh, we've got another Sprinkles Cupcakes mention. So Bridget's brother is coming home from the army, and Bridget's decorating the room he's going to be staying in, and we're all decorating, like putting flags on the front gate. And it's one of those random things that I don't have any memory of doing. Like usually my memory's really good. It's like a steel trap. Like I can remember, you know, whole conversations in detail. But every once in a while I'll be watching this and I'll be like, I don't even remember doing that. Like I must just have been like on autopilot. So we're all standing outside greeting Eddie, Bridget's brother. And I noticed Kendra's wearing this outfit. I think she was doing this contest show on MTV. It was called like Celebrity Rap Superstar. Because I think that was her outfit from it. I could be wrong. I don't know. So sorry if this is a short video, you guys, but it just wasn't like a very snarky or like controversial episode where I have a lot to say. It was really, really touching. The whole storyline with Bridget and her brother. It's funny because I was just saying the last episode I reviewed was Sarah's Playmate of the Year episode, and I was like, this is only the second episode that like made me teary-eyed, but then this one borderline did too. just because of the scenes like with Bridget and her brother. Best part of the episode, I think, was the whole thing with Bridget and her brother, just because it was so emotional and it was like great to show that side of her character and like learn more about her family. I think, and of course I love the slip and slide. That's the other good thing. I think the worst thing about this episode is, I don't know, it lacked a little something. I'm not sure what. Like, I feel like some of the 4th of July stuff was a little redundant from the previous 4th of July episode. Like when I was watching the fireworks scene, I kind of felt like, oh, this is lagging a little bit, just because we've kind of seen that before. I feel like it was missing a little something, like Kendra didn't really have anything to do in it. Upon giving this some more thought, I think what this episode was missing is it's not as cartoony and colorful as a lot of the Girls Next Door episodes are. I feel like that was a huge part of the appeal of this show, and a big part of the reason it was a lot of people's comfort show was it was very like bright colors, carefree, cartoony. And this one, while it did have an emotional element that can coexist with the cartooniness, it just didn't have like the typical like really bright colors. Like you have the scene where they're at the banquet and it's just kind of like a dimly lit banquet hall, and you know, you have the slip and slides, which are very cartoony looking, but I don't know, something about this episode kind of had like a real life filter over it. I don't know. It just wasn't as cartoony and pink and bubblegum as the other episodes. So I think it feels a little out of place. So I think that's why I'm looking at this episode like, oh, this one's a little off. Overall, like, it was a nice episode. I just don't think it was one of like the super memorable ones. And I don't want anybody to think that I don't think the episode is as good, because I really love the stuff with Bridget and her brother. I think it's so emotional and it really like builds Bridget's character and her connection with the audience and her family and everything. I just feel like, and let me know in the comments if you agree, I feel like there is something off about this episode though. And I can't quite pinpoint. Is it because it's not as cartoony? Is it because Kendra doesn't have anything to do? But it's not like there haven't been other episodes, like for example, the one where we do the tour of like haunted stuff in Hollywood. Like Kendra doesn't do as much in that, and I still really like that episode. So I'm not sure what it is. Let me know in the comment section if you think this episode seems odd or out of place or not finished somehow. It's like it was sweet, but you know, it was what it was. The next one is heavy lifting. That's where I remake the gym and Kendra's mom gets plastic surgery. So I will see you guys then. Bye.